Dude, the world is on fire. 90% of my kitty cat tokens are down. 90%. Japan is down too? Shit, how much of Japan am I holding? I don't see it on Binance, dude. Are you sure that's a token? Of the country? Dude, I don't care about the country, man. I'm talking about crypto.
Yo, Pat. You said you wanted to talk, bro? Oh, shit.
You know that crypto dip you told me to buy, Blake?
Yeah?
Yeah, well, it kept fucking dipping, and I kept fucking buying like you told me to.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, and now I'm down 80% on all my positions, and my rent's due in 2 days, and I have no money in my bank.
Bro, what are you talking about? You're literally driving a Lambo, dog.
You know it's rented, Blake.
Oh, my God.
I'll return it tomorrow morning.
Jesus Christ, bro. I'm sorry. All right, but the bull run's literally already over, dude. You should have taken profits. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
What the fuck did you just say?
So the bull run's over, bro.
What do you mean the bull run's over? You're fucking over! You're over! You're over!
I'll pay you in Bitcoin, bruv. Bitcoin, bruv. Am I Super fucking Mario, bruv? Bitcoin. What the fuck is Bitcoin, bruv? Am I Sonic the Hedgehog with rings and coins, bruv? Am I Donkey Kong about rings? It's an N64 game about rings. What? Am I Crash Bandicoot, bruv? Rings. Pay me with Bitcoins. I don't know what Bitcoins are, bruv. What's a Bitcoin? I don't know what Bitcoins are. I don't know what Bitcoins are, bruv. What's a Bitcoin? I don't understand that.
I'm afraid of you because you can give a really dumb answer.
Let's see.
Oh, what should I ask? I should have something really
Magic Conch, is HEX dead?
Okay,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't want to do it. Magic Conch, is HEX dead?
Oh my God!
No hesitation. No hesitation.
All right, well, it's been decided.
It's done.
Let's go. Let's all go home.
I don't know what else you guys need.
I quit crypto. This shit sucks.
Don't gamble. Oh yeah, don't gamble money that you can. Man. I mean, unless it's a lock. There's no such thing as a lock. That's the thing. Unless it's a lock. If it's a lock, it's a little different.
Stop gambling, all right? You're one spin away from generational wealth. Your daughter's college tuition is one spin away. Put your life savings on black. Remember that. Just go to Vegas, and if you lose, just keep getting loans. Remember this. Just keep spinning, keep gambling, keep gambling. You can't lose. You literally can't lose. You can only quit.
Nobody knows about that fucking degenerate life when you're fucking down 40,000 and you battle the fuck back. You say, you know what? You know what? I'm a fucking strong, independent man. And you're not gonna tell me I should go to bed. I'm gonna battle the fuck back. And I'm gonna fucking get my money back. And guess what? I got my motherfucking money back. That's right!
Slaves built the pyramids. Slaves built the Parthenon. Slaves built America. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you. Slaves.
After Jesus started live streaming and the chat filled up, he began to go off saying, W to those who aren't thirsty for this midlife, for they will have eternal life. W to those who take L's from this life, for they will receive an everlasting W. W to those who don't throw hands, for they will secure the eternal bag. W to those who want help passing God's vibe check, for he will say bet. W to those who don't cancel others, for they will not be canceled by the top G. W to those whose spiritual fit is immaculate, for their hearts will be cuffed by God. W to those who turn ops into bros, for they will be called CEOs of peace. W to those who catch hands for being valid, for they will not be left unread by God. W to you when the ops be capping hard, and to you so very dirty because you're my fam. Trust, you have crushed it, and have the eternal W, for so they did the true bros before you.
Thing. Sometimes you gotta cut family members off, bro. If they don't see your vision and they don't align with it, you gotta cut them off. I called my grandma the other day and I told her about Forex, and she said, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I need you to join, grandma. If you join right now for the low price of $355, we can be millionaires by next year. And she like 96, so she might not even see 97, but the thing is like, she didn't believe in me, bro, because she said she only had $200. I had to cut her off, bro. That's what Forex is.
You buy this for $39.99, guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby, you're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99, that's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, good deals don't get by me, baby. I move, I act quick, I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com, boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby, because you bought it for $39.99.
But when you go all in on something, I would say that does take conviction. Now, your conviction might be.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
One.
Are you all in on the chair? The point really is you put on one pair of glasses, you've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. You're using one microphone. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? The point really is things in your life. Do you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? Do you take a different way? You know? So my point really is, if you're you get on one airplane, are you convicted? You put your entire family on the one airplane, aren't you afraid? Asset. Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth.
What is going on, you guys? It is Dollar Cost Crypto here with HEX Drama and CHAOS. But before we start, time and time again, I've been proven right about these filthy fucking French. It's the more you look into it, it's well, But in actuality, it's we. But today we have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny Chaos. What's up, brother?
How's it going, my friend?
It's going good, man. Not so much for the CEO of Telegram, but his private jet touched down within 5 minutes. He was arrested. It's just insanity, dudes. Like, you can't land in France. I mean, well, you know, I won't beat a dead horse here on this channel, but I've talked much shit about the French government, not the French people, but the government, of just being the Illuminati of the Eurozone, effectively.
I don't know, man. I'm afraid about those unrealized gains because, you know, I made that statement on the blockchain, and, you know, it's worth 17 million a coin, and its market cap's larger than the world's national debt. I'd hate to pay the unrealized gains on that.
Johnny, well, you have just won yourself an expense-paid trip to France.
No.
First class ticket to France, Johnny. Step on up. I just need your personal information, and we'll get you down there right now.
No business class.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, if you look at the conspiracy theories, it's well. But when you look deep enough, it's we. If you really, you know about these French, but you know, all jokes aside. Is that why Ton's dropping? That's exactly why. Yeah, the Ton CEO, which he didn't do anything wrong, but they're accusing him of exactly what they're like, even worser than what they accused the Tornado.cash devs of. They're saying he facilitated terrorism. He just allowed motherfuckers to have private conversations. Good. I don't want my stuff to be like heard or anything like that. I mean, do you know how many of my people in the chat right now would be in jail right now if those COD lobbies, if some of those live chats on Ventrilo back in the day were ever posted,
I wouldn't be able to get a job.
You'd be done for. Absolutely finished.
Yeah, our freedoms really are being challenged right now. So that's actually kind of interesting. You know, we see a lot of people going out there and making a lot of things, just, you know, hoping that it doesn't catch enough attention from these authorities. And that's why it's really important that Richard wins his case, because, you know, it's not just for, you know, Hex and Pulse Chain and for him, it's to set precedents in crypto altogether. And, you know, we kind of sort of need that because they are.
You need case law. You need W's or L's, and then that is what ends up kind of telling which way the industry ends up going. You know, these early victories don't seem like that great or that crazy, but it ends like one small step for Pulse Chain is one giant leap for, you know, crypto kind. It really is like that.
It was Brad Garlinghouse and Brian Armstrong that were laughing that it's kind of funny that now being sued by the SEC is actually a rite of passage. You know, so all the other little coin founders, if you haven't been sued yet, that's because you're not relevant yet. That's really what it comes down to. You're just not relevant enough yet for them to waste their time, you know. So, but, you know, that's the kind of stuff that's coming down the lane. And you remember when they sent out the subpoenas, the voluntary requests, which is what they were, was subpoena in the header, you know, ordering people to give up their private records and, you know, all their communications. Like, you know, they have some kind of right to demand everything that you have, you know, and, you know, some people gave it to them, some, you know, other people got lawyers, but I mean, it's really scary. When are we going to get in trouble next because we're rooting for our favorite team? Because let's face it, that's what Hexicans are, man. We're not paid.
I'm sick of the Raiders too, bro. I'm just
rooting for our favorite team, you know. I mean, it's just it's really scary, you know.
When are we going after those damn Broncos? When are we going? No, those fucking Mets fans. I swear to God.
Mets fans, yeah. Well, you know, if they want to say that if you buy something, right, and you expect for it to appreciate in value, then it's automatically a security. Okay. So magic cards, that's a security. Baseball cards, that's a security. Comic books, that's a security. Shit, You buy a bottle of pop, it'd probably be $4 tomorrow. Is that a security? You know, I mean, it's like, what's going on? Everything's going up in price, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of these reports too. Shout out to Funding Jim, man. Case law only matters in a non-violent world. All laws only count when masses agree to live in non-violent. I mean, that's true, yeah. But the non-violent world is protected with violence, with a threat of violence in a way to make people. I mean, because people are you know, bonobo, orangutan, gorilla, apes, monkeys, and you know, if this, I mean, people are naturally violent, whether they, I mean, they are, and like if there wasn't like, I think we, you know, we went back to maybe like how we were in the 90s, possibly maybe like I was in life for the 80s, but like that's probably pretty decent now. Obviously, it was, you know, there's pros and cons too as well, because usually when you go into that world, also it gets very, very strictly religious as well, and then you have things that aren't really like benefiting like on the medical sense, but at the same time too, like overall society is probably better off anyway and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, we probably shouldn't have to go down this whole road of like religion.
We had witch burnings, man. We had witch burnings. Don't forget.
Yeah.
You know, anybody does anything in innovation, anything that somebody does that's different, that isn't you know, that's new or innovative, or try to do something that's a little outside the mainstream, it's going to be criticized and ridiculed and, you know, demonized. You know, even when they invented cars, you know, horse and buggy wasn't a fan of cars. You could only drive 5 miles an hour, and there was a law that you had to have 2 flagmen walking X amount of paces in front of your vehicle to warn people that your vehicle was coming through. I mean, they had some really twisted laws back in the day to go against innovation, you know. So you look at the fear of people when microwaves came out. You couldn't eat microwave food because if you do, you get cancer because it's nuclear, you know, is what they said. You know, it's microwaves, but you know, people didn't understand it. Now we've got the, you know, the 5G crew. I don't think we've really changed so much as a species to where, you know, we still have those caveman like tendencies to, fire, it's scary, you know. So anytime anything comes along new, it's automatically, you know, scary, and it's attacked until it becomes commonplace.
Right. It's the adoption curve and stuff, but there's, I mean, Christopher made a joke right here. If you fart inside an elevator, you get charged with terrorism and conspiracy to kill. But like, you know, all jokes aside with that,
you gassed him, Christopher. You gassed him. You did it. You did it. You gassed him.
You gassed him. Well. Anyway, no, but all jokes aside on that stuff, but like, you know, but maybe I think may all jog people's memory. But in 2021, in very early 2022, they were trying to basically this was the road you're going down. That if you were sick, you got someone sick, you could get charged for that. You know, this is something that's like the most common thing ever. Is like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people are old enough to remember that we used to get chicken pox. Not anymore. It's disappeared. I'm not, well, somebody in my family just decided randomly to inoculate me and put me next to my cousin who had chicken pox for some strange fucking reason and lock us in a room magically. And then a couple hours later, I was very sick. I don't know. I'm not going to blame the certain adults in the family who decided to say this seemed to be pretty intelligent at the time.
It's shingles time.
It's shingles time. But yeah, but this is just a normal thing. I mean, that's what happens. It just happens. How many times have we been in our lives that we've been sick, went to school, and just, you know, probably got someone else sick by accident? I mean, that's normal human. That's normally human nature. You know, we've been doing that forever, and then to make that illegal is just insanity. You know, obviously, I'm not saying, you know, we have smallpox and we put it into blankets and, you know, give it to some people I don't like. You know, I'm not saying anything like that. You know?
Yeah.
There is that, but there's a big difference there where like, oh, someone has a common cold and then you got the common cold versus that. But yeah,
one of the first forms of chemical warfare, using the smallpox. That was the first chemical warfare.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was, and they did it intentionally too. There was cases of it,
Oh,
but regardless, even if they weren't really doing it intentionally, just them being around, just passed off like diseases that they weren't used to. So I mean, like it's both yes, and it would have happened. I think it probably would have happened a tiny bit slower, but still would have happened no matter what. Yeah.
Man, we're going down a grim path, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we're going down a grim path.
Let's go back. Let's go back to history, man. You know, back in the day, you know, when we were first real money, right? When we broke that penny for the first time, we were like, "We real money now, bitches!" And how excited we were over breaking that penny the first time. And all these people with us today, they're going to get to experience it again.
Right. It's gonna be it's gonna be a really cool event. You know, I mean, for people who don't know, this is Johnny Chaos, Triple OG. He's been in Hex a long time. You know, what were you on a bunch of the streams in 2020? I think you were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to give people a little bit of background on yourself?
Background on me?
Yeah.
Well, this is the last place I ever thought I would be. How about that? I watched Richard's videos back in the day, and I had just about been fed up with crypto. I was in the 2017 ICO mania. Yeah. I heard every narrative there was to hear, from supply chain to power online. You know, your WePower, your power ledger, the supply chain tracking tokens, the whatever, the Ethereum, the Chinese Ethereum, good old Neo that started out as Neo. And how that really never went anywhere, and all the whatever they were called tokens that were built on Neo. You had Red Pulse, you had Deep Brain Chain, which was supposed to be this great AI thing. Singular.net, everyone's like, oh, you've heard of this new thing? No, it's not new. It's not new. It was back in the day. Did they do anything with it? No, it's not even related to AI. They've just got AI in the name. So, you know, it's funny because you see all these narratives that get recycled every 3 years, right? This recycling of narratives. And so anyway, watching Richard, I said to myself, okay, all I want is some kind of thing that allows me to earn more coins, period. That's really all I wanted out of this crypto thing. Not chase this, not chase that, not trade every day. I've spent my time. I did the leverage trading. I did the, I've been through every narrative there was to go through, and I was sick of crypto. And I watched Richard, and I said, okay, well, if this guy does what I think he's going to do, then this is going to be freaking awesome, because nobody had tried. You know, the crypto space was very stagnant. It was just a lot of cut and paste and copying of narratives. And then it was, you never get an explanation from the YouTubers, and you realize that they'd go to the website and literally just read off the website back in the day. So like 2017 was the birth of the crypto influencers.
Yeah, 100%. Because before that, it was pretty much kind of bloggers a little bit. It was kind of, maybe you couldn't even get a blog really. It was just really you're reading comments at most on a forum.
And reading websites. If they ask about the coin, they're literally just reading off the dialogue off of the websites. You know, it's like you didn't need a person to do that for you, but people like things read to them. So, the crypto influencers of today have made their way, not necessarily understanding crypto, but as in marketing, as in sponsorships and stuff. So you're always hearing these vague pleasantries like, oh yeah, I see good things for this coin. Okay, why? Oh yeah, well, the team's really good. Okay, and it's always all these little vague things, right? And it's like they don't really actually talk about what anything did, because it didn't do anything. For the most part, it didn't.
For the most part, yeah.
You just buying into a narrative for the most part, right? And Ethereum at the time, the Ethereum killer narrative, that was horrible, because everything wanted to be an Ethereum killer, and nothing was viable to really stand up to Ethereum at that point in time.
Yeah.
Now we know that there are other chains now that are being sponsored and talked about and stuff. And that Pulse isn't one of them, because it's very organic and everything. So, it's kind of hard to get that sort of placement. And Ethereum screwed us good with the S-load function, which really, really shut down DeFi. It wasn't, people are like, oh, well, it was just against HEX. Well, HEX was one of those programmable codes that was impacted by the S-load function. But in actuality, I really feel like the increase in the S-load was to put a muzzle on DeFi because they didn't want people providing liquidity. They didn't want people, trading on chain. They wanted to redirect everybody back to their bread and butter, which is those centralized exchanges, with the referral links and all that stuff. So anyway,
because very quickly it could have completely got out of hand for them. Where like, because it really felt for a while there in like mid 2020, especially when in 2021 when things were going crazy, that it was incredible. Like you could just move money anywhere, earn interest, earn money, and obviously
you were earning fees. That was the thing. Instead of paying the fees, you were able to provide liquidity and earn fees, and that was getting people to remove their coins off of the centralized exchanges that wanted to hold custody. Because we don't know what their balance sheet says. Because when you're on a centralized exchange, their balance sheet says one thing, and what they actually have is another thing. And what you're looking at is what they're showing you. You're looking at their database, their spreadsheet. That does not necessarily correlate with what their actual holdings are. And we saw that with FTX. Because they were reporting everybody had coins, but when it came down to it, you were looking at their reported data versus what they actually had on hand. And all it took was took CZ dumping the market because he knew that they didn't have the backing. And that's what caused that whole cascade. And the reason he knew they didn't have the backing is because neither did he.
Yeah, I mean, he runs a pretty profitable business, and like he's pretty. I wouldn't say miserly, but like he makes wise investments. But he doesn't spend too much on advertising and stuff. He only spends in the bear runs. Basically, is when he spends money, and then at point like there was a couple of things that kind of like would tip me and Charlie off to like the top was one where like they interviewed CZ and basically says we're really hiring nobody unless it's like a special talent or something like that because. Like basically everybody now, it's kind of like when the housing boom, like everyone can now remodel a house now. Everybody's a real estate agent, and then
everybody's a photographer,
everyone's a developer, and like I used to get a lot of blowback for that when, especially in 21, when I said developers really are kind of dog shit. Like they don't really like most of them are just copy and paste developers. They don't really. I mean, they kind of know how to code, but like they're not really creating anything at all anymore. Like they're. At most are launching a meme coin nowadays. Like that's it. Like maybe a coin with one or two functions, and that's it. Really, like it's actually very difficult to find something that actually has talent in it. And it's not something that you can pick it up quickly, but in order to actually get like a level of mastery on it, it's just like anything. You have to spend a crazy amount of time doing it and doing all kinds of stuff. That's why like there's only a handful of like the real developers you might even know their name.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people talk about like Andre or whatever, because he's created like a ton of these actual protocols, or about Vitalik and like even Uniswap. I mean, the founder of Uniswap didn't even make Uniswap. He was given the idea and the code for it by the Ethereum Foundation and Vitalik. He's like, here, bro, try to make it, and he made it. Like he was given it, I still give him big what's. I mean, that's cool. It's still really cool what he did. But he also Hayden Christensen also made a bunch of mistakes because he ended up incorporating it in the United States, and he's going to be paying lawyers for the next decade trying to keep his ass out of jail.
Too bad he had to treat us so shittily. Maybe we might donate to his cause.
Oh no, we definitely would have. But
I think that's kind of thrown out now since they showed us how decentralized their front ends are with the banning attacks. Which, mind you, remember we were 40% of all Uniswap's volume in the very beginning, and that was amazing. We helped make them popular, and the thanks that we get is okay. Well, your coin's unlisted. We're going to make it look like a scam to anybody that comes looking. And that's just some serious nasty play right there. And these people are supposed to be for crypto, right?
Yeah.
So,
but they're not. They were
for money.
I believe they were pro crypto for a little bit until it affected their bottom line or their ass in jail. Yeah. And I mean, part of me trying to be like understand the other side too. if you have a family, and these guys don't have kids, but some of them did. But like, if you do have a family, I understand that a little bit, but at the same time too, especially when these people talk a big game of being these cyberpunk heroes of the universe, you know, that way they're doing all this stuff for crypto and it's blah, blah, this. The moment that it comes down that they either will get a little bit of jail time or some fines or their money might go away, then their morals, I mean, they basically get a job at Lockheed Martin, effectively.
You know, it's like this, man. You know, if you don't expect resistance, then you're not on the right path. You know, if you don't expect resistance, you're not on the right path. It's funny because people will whine and they'll say, "Oh, well, you whined about Hex being gatekept. Now you're gatekeeping us." It's like, no, you're just not reaching out to the rest of the world. You know, you're just running in circles within the community, draining what little funds there's left there. You know, that's not actually marketing. That's not actually reaching out. That's capitalizing on a pre-existing audience to see what you can cipher out of it, you know, and that's just kind of lame. But the X times Y equals K automated market maker, always a bid, always an order, that was definitely an innovation. And Hex was definitely a next innovation because it allowed the average person to participate, right, without buying $2 million worth of mining equipment or having 32,000 what is it, 32,000 ETH or something? 32 ETH? 32 ETH?
It was 32 ETH.
Right. And when Hex launched, we already had that burning function where Ethereum hadn't even switched over to their proof of stake yet. So Hex was a hybrid proof of stake. It was ahead of its time. So when you were when you're trying to explain that to like the crypto influencers, as I basically stated, you know, most of them were just script readers to begin with. It's like trying to explain a platypus to zoologists that have never seen a platypus. Of course, they're not going to believe you. This animal can't possibly exist. It's a furry mammal with a duck bill, and it's poisonous, and it has a flat tail. I mean, you're trying to explain this to somebody like, oh no, that doesn't exist. We're experts in zoology. That doesn't exist. We know what exists in crypto, and what exists in crypto is pet rocks, right? They market the next pet rock, and that's all they were really there to do. So that's where the problem came in. Everything we've done has been ahead of its time, and we're just so damn early to the freaking party that, you know, the DJ hasn't shown up, the dancing girls hadn't shown up, and people are just throwing their beer down and going, oh, this party sucks. Well, you know, you're there at 7 o'clock, the party don't even start till 10. What do you expect?
Yeah,
you know,
I use that analogy. It's sort of like, you have to be here early because, bro, as soon as the party's popping, they won't even let you in. The security won't even let you in the door, dude. You ain't getting in unless you got like 5 hot bitches with you. You ain't getting in. You ain't getting in unless you know Michael Sartain. You ain't getting in if you don't know Johnny Chaos. That's it. I mean, so like you get in now while you can, or you're gonna be paying for the top. You're gonna be exit liquidity, really, and like I don't really like those words really, but it's just become it's popular with the kids these days, and like I think that's also a big problem too, that like the community during 2022 and 23, especially let's call a spade here. When, you know, in 2023 when Pulse Chain launched, it became everyone against everybody, and like we like I was trying to keep this, like I was trying, and I know Coffee was, I know, you know, Hexo was, and I know you were. But there's a lot of other members that helped, you know, that was with Hex and Pulse Chain that started pretty much because they had other projects they sacked for, started becoming very PvP, and then, you know, caused this whole cascade of just making fun of stakers. And, you know, like, you know, you're stupid. I mean, I've heard, and you know, people could lie about it, say they didn't say that, but of course they did. You know, staking stupid. You guys are dumb. Like, I kept all my shit liquid. I sold on top of your heads. Thanks for being my exit liquidity. And they were kept, and then you made fun of the backbone, and then a lot of these guys today held most of their money in PHEX, and then they're like, "What the fuck's happening? Why is nobody staking?" Well, you fucking made fun of everybody who wanted to stake.
Abandoned and migrated, right? Abandoned. Oh no! Come over here to this side of the pool. Okay, leave a dead body on the Ethereum side. Oh yeah, that's great, guys. Now everybody sees the corpse at our doorway. You think they're coming over to our island now? That's great. Great job.
Yeah. And it's sort of like in 300 where like the guy with the hump sold out the crew for like one night of like sex,
right?
You know, and
You got your one night of your PHEX pump, guys. Enjoy. I hope it lasts.
Bro, I ratioed so good. And, you know, the whole thing with the ratio is not crazy. Like we took, like, bro, when it launched, right? Like you could almost get 3. And actually, I'm trying to remember that it's been a minute since I thought about it.
It was two PHEX for one EHEX.
Right. So you could swap hat, and like we told, I mean, like, hey, do that, you know, go both ways, because you don't know which way, because it would, you know, these ratios fluctuated crazy. I mean, I was able to, the one I was really successful with, besides the EHEX PHEX trade, which was Pulse Chain to PulseX. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. Oh my God, that was it. But at some point, what happens
is 50 for one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, but I was just trading them back and forth, and just in, like, the thing is, if you're long term, it didn't really matter, because I mean, what ended up happening, right? I mean, like, and then also too, these same guys were making fun of people for holding, you know, not holding EHEX, but more or less for, like, being a staker class, when that's what all they promoted was staking.
Yeah.
When they're talking about 555s and like ladders and staking, you're stupid if you're not staking. And then they make fun of people for then staking. These same guys make fun of people.
Yeah, you can make more in the yield farms. We talked about this too. It's like Richard kind of took a hands-off approach from the beginning. He could have bonded the pairs if he chose to. He chose to just let the carnage happen and do a hands-off approach. I don't know if some of that had to do with the legalities. I don't know the reasoning, but it was chosen not to do that, which would have changed the outcome of all of this. Now, I spent a lot of time running around telling everybody, look, guys, stop trying to pick the one winning horse, because that's what everybody wanted to do. They wanted to pick the one winning horse. Oh, I'm all PulseX, or I'm all Pulse, or I'm all Hex, you know, trying to pick the one winning horse. And everybody, which one do I buy? I've only got $1,000. I only want to buy one coin. Tell me which one to buy. And that created a competition within just the core coins itself. And of course, we've got the people that do want the coins that are liquid. So you'll see this, you know, it kind of happened with Hedron, because the people were staked, right? The only liquid capital that they were able to acquire was their Hedron. They could pull out their daily Hedron and drop that on the market. I think the OA kind of fixed the Hedron competition as far as better payout than staking, because they staked a very large amount of the Hedron, diluting that pool heavily, which could have been done on the Pulse chain side in general, with making the pools really thick, because then it would have preserved Texas store value narrative, and it wouldn't be in competition with itself, which it did become competition with itself. And we saw, you know, some testing with the EHEX PHEX pair, and then immediately when people started emergency unstake, it was removed. People need to understand that farms can change. They are admin key based, and they can change. People could come in and dilute that pool very easily. The HEX contract is a stable contract. It doesn't fluctuate on the same kind of level that, you know, farms can just be pulled away from you at any point in time.
Right. It's locked in. The parameters are locked in.
It's really locked in, and people who don't like the locking mechanism don't understand it. And I get it, right? You know, everybody wishes they sold the 51-cent high. Well, guess what? You didn't know that was the high. And guess what? It was
very few people did. Very few people did.
Yeah, it was a high in the very first cycle. You know, we are just now finishing out this cycle and starting a new one. So, you know, if HEX doesn't go up again, well, I guess you could say, okay, fine, it was right. But it's a little premature to be parading around when, you know, the people that have staked have 5x their bags easily in this period of time. And if you really understand the mechanism, people cannot dump forever in the system, because it's how the system is designed. You know, there is no dump forever. In any other coin you're in, yes, there are people with big bags that can dump forever, because there's no other use case than to just dump on your head. And like every founder out there sells on your head except for Richard. It's insane. You
Even Vitalik. I mean,
Vitalik, yeah. And he gets away with it. If Richard were to dump 100 million worth of coins, oh my God, can you just imagine the publicity of that? And if he did that, don't you think there'd be 20 hexagons who actually study chain analysis, screaming at the
Right.
top of their lungs that Richard's dumping, they wouldn't figure it out. The mainstream crypto is 3 years behind us. They don't really know how to do chain analysis. They don't really understand liquidity. They don't really understand ratios. They don't understand any of that shit. They've never had to, because they are paid actors that read scripts. They don't understand crypto. And it's just so sad that when people come into crypto, those are the first people they see.
Yeah. But it's kind of this baptism through fire. It's like everyone went through it. Like me, like how I got onboarded into crypto was this stock guy just kept making fun of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Don't go to invest. Like I was super into stocks. I was just stock picking. I wasn't even investing in ETFs anymore. I was just kind of like, I had maybe like a 10 stock portfolio. That's pretty much what I had. So I was watching some of these YouTubers and see if I could find some sort of new player or anything like that. And then I kept, I think it was Jeremy from the Financial Education Channel, which is he's actually local here in Las Vegas, actually still pretty big channel. And he just kept saying like, this Bitcoin stuff, this Ethereum stuff, this is just a fad. And but eventually he just said it so many times in so many videos that I was like, what the hell is going on over there? I went and looked and I was like, whoa. So I just, from that, I mean, literally from that point on, that's how I got onboarded. But like, I was just lucky that I got onboarded kind of through like someone hating versus like hot new altcoin. Because I totally could have been much more of a shitcoiner, like totally become more of a shitcoiner. But
everybody's a crypto expert in the bull market. Everybody's a crypto expert in the bull market.
Is.
You can take a bunch of darts and throw them at a dartboard with coins on it, and you're gonna pick 8 winners. Okay?
Johnny, stop giving away the cut Johnny's mic off, dude. Don't be giving that fucking alpha away. Yo, chill, bro. But you're not wrong, actually. You probably and that actually would still more or less work. It's just having the whole thing too is also like how much you're investing into each coin as well, and then the more you but it is true, the more you risk on like the more concentrated you are, the more you could possibly gain, but it's more of a bumpy ride because it's unless you're investing in the Chinese coins are this whole thing where like they're kind of boring right now. They're just steady Eddie going up, but at any point anything bad happens and you get rugged really badly, and you're at a
you're really in the depths of this stuff. You've always been. You get right down and dirty into some of this deep dive stuff. But I mean, and you're paying attention to the fundamental analysis. You are a fundamental analysis guy. You're reading the chats, you're researching, and you're seeing what's creating a buzz, and you're making your bets based on that. See, I did not want that life. I literally just wanted something that was going to make me some more coins. And Bitcoin don't. Your Bitcoin, holding it by yourself, it doesn't make you more Bitcoin. And Ethereum, just holding your Ethereum doesn't make you more Ethereum, right? And unless you want to be a validator for Ethereum now, which you can, but it costs you 32 ETH. You can still get slashed.
Which is going up, by the way. That's going to increase. They've been talking about increasing it.
But you'll get slashed, okay? If your computer goes down or whatever. So you've got potential loss there in validating, right? And as far as a Bitcoin miner, the miners are getting all the free coins. The miners are the ones that are getting the coins, right? And you're not. That just makes you a consumer. You're buying somebody else's product because it's the end thing to do. Fortunately, there is a market for people that like to brag about overpaying for things. That's why there's Rolexes. That's why there's designer clothing. That's why there's, I know I'm busted on, but I'm just saying there is a market for that. You might be the market for that, but I'm saying there is a market for that. There will always be a market for people that want to be able to brag and have a status symbol of some sort to say, okay, I'm able to purchase this thing. That's like a sign of
choosing
success.
signals, peacocking.
Social signals, right? So, I mean, there's always going to be a market for that. But for your average person that wants to save and earn coins on their coins without continually putting money in, to actually earn coins on your coins, there were not a lot of options to do that. And HEX's design makes that fundamentally able for your average person to actually compete in the network. especially right now with the T-share prices as low as they are. And we were talking about it. Are you going to do your Bitcoin thing where you're going to show how people can actually make more Bitcoin with X when your Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. I thought of different ways and stuff, but I'm still working on a way to make it like interesting enough for people to pay attention. But like, just to go back to like that whole point you were saying there with you know, with like HEX and stuff, is that most coins, like there is coins that have the ability where you like something like, you know, when Neo first was created, you could buy these kind of what would you call them? I guess they'd be like master blocks, or they'd be like master nodes effectively. But the problem is that there was a limited amount, and if you're not in the club, you're not in the club. Yeah. And that's sort of the problem, is that you can get into coins where like all the financial incentives and all the inflation essentially get to the lucky few. And with HEX it isn't like the OGs have this monopoly over it. They also have to keep anting up, and if they don't, it's kind of more. I don't want to use the word democratic, but like it's much more a more fair system over time, because the people who actually are staking will start getting the rewards, and then lazy OGs who let their stakes run out, and which is a lot of them, if I'm being very, very honest. Like all this HEX not getting staked is coming from somewhere. You know,
we can do some of those projections on what's going to happen with the staking system, but it's funny that like people will say, you know, well, they got all the T shares, they can dump forever. No, that's not how it works. And if you don't like it, then be part of the 10%. Right. Be part of the 10% that's staking, and you earn the rewards. Why are you bitching because people are doing what they say they're going to do and they're earning rewards? We're telling you how to do it. I shouldn't tell anybody how to do it. Stay out of my pool.
It's because the people complaining are trying to create the evil. They're basically trying to be like we're the Wookiees, or we're the fucking Ewoks and shit. You know, like we're fighting the evil. We're fighting the evil empire. Just me and us against the world. But buy my coin. But
buy my coin.
Buy my coin. You know, which is what it is.
Liquidity over there. Buy my coin so you can be my exit liquidity. That's what that is. I do hate that term, because it's like literally when people are saying your exit liquidity, you know exactly what they're thinking. They're thinking they want you to be their exit liquidity. That's what's so funny about that, right? Yeah. When we're talking about staking HEX, guess what? You ain't my exit liquidity. I ain't got no HEX to sell. My HEX is burnt. It's called T-shares now. It's a placeholder. And every time somebody stakes, guys, those coins are burnt. They're removed from the market and sent out into the future if people honor their terms. If not, and they emergency unstake, all that profit gets sent out even farther in the future, because the 15-year stakes get a 3x multiplier. So it just keeps farther more perpetual. I call it a dynamic deferred inflationary model. It's the first of its kind. And it's really unique, and I just think it's beautiful, because that interest never actually hits the system. It keeps getting pushed forward because people keep emergency unstaking, and it keeps getting sent out heavier to the future because of the multipliers. So it's
so
really cool.
Should we? I'll say a little bit of the conversation we had in private, where like, you know, I personally think so it is a ratcheting effect, as well as, you know, in the next 6 months, people are going to be able to emergency unstake these much longer 10-year stakes, right? But the problem is once they're emergency unstake, they're out.
Yeah.
And two, like once you're 7 years in, there's a much less of an incentive to actually emergency unstake them, because you're like you might as well wait the fucking 3 or 2 years to unlock them if you already waited 7 years already, or 8 years already, right? Versus like you're 5 years in on a 10-year. This is your one chance to get out now if you really want it right now, right? And this is why, like this is why I've been staking out personally. I've been staking out for the next bull run and farther along, because what's the point? Because I have like right now it's as cheap as you like. The time to stake is when it's cheap, because you have the testicular fortitude to like actually buy and stake out. But fuck with everything I'm talking about with HEX. Even the coins you like, whatever it is, Ethereum, this is the chance right now before the interest rates are cut, before they start pumping money into the market, before they stop letting the balance sheets run out, before they start this whole money printing system, because we're basically in a recession right now. like I watch the real estate market out here. Like this is Vegas back here, right? Unless, I mean, if you're off the strip, stuff is starting to go down. Rent's starting to go down, especially if you're in the middle of the Midwest. Shit's going down fast now. The housing is very unaffordable. We're having the most amount. We're actually having housing come online finally. So we're having new houses built all over the country, and all this new supply is starting to actually lessen and starting to actually hurt the real estate prices, which is good for people who are trying to get housing. Every boomer you possibly know is now in retirement age or within a year of retirement age. And if they haven't retired already, they're going to be retired the next 5 years because they're just too old and not going to be competitive enough. And these people want to move to where it's warmer because their fucking knees hurt. They want to move down to Florida or Texas or lower parts of California. And that's a lot of housing that comes online. So that means there's downward pressure on real estate. And we've had interest rates much too high for too long. I've been saying this since March of this year. We should have, Jerome Powell should have been cutting interest rates since March of this year, but they didn't because real estate was holding up. And now, as of last month, of the last Fed meeting, they're finally saying, look at this. Finally, we're starting to see real estate services, which is like counts everything, which counts from constructing real estate to painters to remodels. I mean, everything that has to do with real estate is finally crashing down a little bit. This is now where okay, we can finally cut, but now we finally started getting global, we had like a 30% drop in the stock market over there in Japan, which is one of the most major buyers of actual like bonds in America. They buy all our debt, right? And they crashed so bad that they've rebounded, thank God, but they've now crashed their own bond market. They're not even buying their own bonds anymore. So now the Federal Reserve of Japan is going to have to print money to buy their own bonds now, more than they've already had. They try to do a multi-billion-dollar bond sale. No one bought. Literally, it was like fucking news. Like they sold like $1 million of bonds of I think it was like $5 billion treasury of 2-year treasury notes. No one bought it.
So what do you think of the cycle repeating? As in, the fractal is really matching up for the 4-year cycle, making 2025 an excellent year. But right now, we're just going to have that kind of slag, maybe a slow move up. But it's very much replicating, the great COVID dip.
So COVID made everything worse, right?
Yeah.
Mostly not because of it, obviously like we didn't have deaths, thank God, right? Hopefully it wasn't this gigantic thing that actually did kill a lot of people. It was pretty much just reporting the basically deaths that happened already from the common cold in regular fever. So that's really what it was, which is normal because it doesn't get really reported because this happens. It's just like we all get colds, we all get fevers, and it's usually either super young kids or people that have bad diabetes or breathing problems or very old that die from these things. And that's usually like, oh, he just died of like pneumonia, or like it was like, he just died of old age or something like that, or just a weakened immune system.
Well, the pandemic helped us all out because that's how we all met. Because we were locked out.
I will say it turbocharged the crypto industry. It turbocharged the crypto industry because it had a lot of negatives, but the positive were we're an online industry basically, right? So it basically forced a bunch of people who would have been in offices droning away, came home, they had more free time. This allowed our industry to become much larger than it would have been naturally. I think maybe like 50% larger than it would have been in terms of just the manpower behind it. And the money printing they did to support the economy at the time, I think we could have actually handled it if the economy wasn't shut down. What fucked everything up was the supply chain mess ups, whereas we basically stopped buying. We just the blockchain stopped, or the physical blockchain stopped. Basically, we stopped being able to buy supplies from overseas, and what ended up happening is that we were bidding more money for the same amount of product that we had. So whatever we had, it was the same amount of people. Nothing changed. We were still wanting to buy the same amount of toilet paper, the same amount of meat. What happened was there was just much less producers of it. So prices went like this. And the problem is that when prices go like this, they don't go down usually.
No.
So it isn't like gasoline, where gasoline does go up and down, thank God. Where when it comes to like your Lysol or your red meat or your eggs, once the price goes up, they don't want to put the price back down, so they just keep it there. So you have this whole thing; they don't go backwards, and that's kind of the messed up thing. You know, all we have left in this world is Arizona iced tea for $1. That's it. Costco hot dog. These are the last homies holding it down. That's it. There's nothing else. You know, they're talking about increasing Kirkland membership by $50. You know, like. You know, I'm just trying to make jokes here, but like, but it's true. Like, you know, that like you have NBC saying like, you know, we finally have slowed down inflation. Sure, that's right. Inflation has slowed down to 2.9%, double it. So we're probably at 5% inflation legitimately, which is better than we were in the past. But that doesn't account for the 100% increase we've had in the last 4 years in terms of like what it's cost for groceries. Gasoline has stayed stable, but groceries are up. Car insurance is up. Mortgages are up. Everything is up. We've doubled the cost of living effectively, or for the most part, increased it by 60% on average. And we're saying like, oh, look at this. Everything's fine, you guys. Well, everyone's income's only increased at most. It's kept up with inflation at the most part. And that's it.
5% raises, you know, if you're lucky. Yeah, it's bad. And
I mean, I saw a report where like, if you did not make an extra $50,000 a year on average from like 2019 to now, in terms of like you haven't like as a household, your net income hasn't gone up $50,000 a year, you have fallen behind tremendously, and it's become it takes an extra $50,000 a year to afford a house in your state. Doesn't matter across the board. So across the board, everybody had to make your income did not increase by $50,000 a year, you fell behind.
Yeah, the house next to me just sold for twice what I paid for both of my properties. Wow. So that's really kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean they've got some land, they got a pole barn on it, but they paid twice as much as I did for both my properties. So that just gives you kind of an idea how quickly things are going up. Just my Dr. Pepper habit, my 2-liter a day habit has gone from $1 to $3. So there's a 3x. The cost of me, that's killing me. But anyway, the whole point here is that you know, crypto is going to go up. The dollar is losing value. Crypto is going to go up. So the question is, do you want more dollars or do you want more crypto? And HEX allows you to get more crypto without dumping more cash in regularly. And you know, like I said, it's okay for these people doing rolling stakes. People don't like people doing rolling stakes. They get upset with people doing rolling up.
But you can.
But you can. And here's the thing. Here's the thing with those rolling stakes. Every time you make a rolling stake, you are burning HEX supply. Yes. So go ahead, make a rolling stake. You are burning HEX supply. People have all the opportunity in the world right now to participate and get the T-shares, and stop bitching about other people earning coins when they can actually earn coins. Because by the time you're going to go, oh, well, this is awesome, I can actually earn coins, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. You're only going to get a fraction of the rewards that you would have gotten before, you know. And what's so cool is it literally pays people for being honorable, to honor their terms, right? Pretty much everything in crypto is some kind of grift, right? You know, it's like, you know, it's something's going on, right? This is something that actually pays you to honor your word, honor the terms that you say. Can you do what you say you're going to do? I mean, how many people do that? Not a lot of people, obviously, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it rewards you for doing the right thing when other people are screwing up or other people are cheating. You're getting their share of the coins. If they don't fulfill their terms, they get none of it. So we're saying, you know, that at 5 years, right, those 10-year stakes, if they want out, let them out, because they're going to forfeit the big payday bonus and 5 years of yield. And let me tell you, that 5 years of yield dwarfs that big payday. So like if you're in now, you're still going to be able to have access to the big payday. Big payday is not over, because if people don't finish out their terms, you get a portion of that.
Yeah. You get the sprinkles. You get half of that yield to yourself and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And
half of that yield is actually getting burned away in keeping the interest rate high for in terms of your yield stake, because it goes to the OA wallets, which they just keep it liquid
for the market.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I was talking about setting those liquidity pools heavy, you know, the 10 billion hexes. Well, for one thing, you'd say, okay, well, that actually dilutes that pool. So people wouldn't be incentivized to provide liquidity to that pool because they would earn hex on both sides, of course, if they did that. But it's not going to be the same kind of value as hex t-shirts are going to pay out because it'd be so diluted by then, right? It would have provided a universal conduit between chains. You wouldn't have had this EHEX, PHEX debate bullshit that went on. You know, people not realizing that we are still highly bonded to Ethereum. We have 10,000 daily active users. They have 10 million. They have 10 million daily active users, guys. So let's not get too full of ourselves and say Ethereum has to die, because right now Ethereum is actually where the money is, and that's where Pulse Chain borrows the value from. That's just the truth. You know, you know, many things have come and gone, and you know, it takes a lot. It's going to take a lot for Pulse Chain to be considered a viable network. I said it takes 1 to 2 years for a chain to develop and actually mature enough to really do something. So, you know, I'm sorry for the people that thought they were going to get rich quick. This is you're placing bets on the future, and you're trying to figure out where this thing is going to go, and if it is going to be a viable option, if people are going to adopt it in the future. And I certainly can see us getting, you know, crypto adoption in general is pathetic. There's a freaking app I saw advertised on my phone. It was called A Legend of Mushroom that had 89 million users. You know, Ethereum has what, 10 million users? It has 9x Ethereum's users, and it's a stupid game application. If you understand how little crypto adoption there actually is, then you really start to gather how early you actually are. It's going to take a while to get all those apps out there so people can use crypto without even knowing that they're using crypto. It's going to take.
There also is a lot of brokies out here. You know, let's be honest too. That the not you know, I mean, fuck, man. You put out, if I put out a thing like free airdrop coming out or some shit, that like the amount of traffic you would get for that is, but it's also.
Boy, I got a deal for them. Dollar cost. You know what gets you a free airdrop every single day credited to your account?
What? Oh, let me know. What are we talking about, Johnny?
Hex. You know what had the first buy and burn? Hex. You buy your Hex, you burn them for T-shares. Look, buy and burn, actual burn, not sending to a zero address. Poof, they're gone. They're out of circulation.
Not chlamydia, you guys, but Hex.
You meant new Hex at the end of your stake. It's not the same Hex. Guess what, guys? You know, when you're looking at that Hex chart and you're staked, you might as well forget about it because you don't own Hex. You own T-shares. So maybe you should look at the T-share chart because you're looking at future Hex that you don't even own yet, and you won't own it unless you actually complete your terms, which obviously you're probably not going to complete your terms because you're worrying about the price right now. So it doesn't look like you're going to complete your terms. It's really kind of funny. But I mean, again, dude, this is where the problem comes in. Is Hex is ahead of its time. It was using all the features. It was actually using the programmable part of programmable money for the first time instead of being lazy with their thumb up their ass all the time. You know, you've got these people that just they say, oh, look, it's a new idea, and they never finish it. They're always promising something down the road, down the road, down the road. Hex does what it's supposed to do right freaking now. And people don't, they're like, I don't get it. What can you do?
But yeah, so I mean, obviously don't stake all your coins out. I don't know, like don't 555 all your coins, right? Do what's responsible for yourself, right?
Oh yeah,
like, we're cool with rolling stakes. If you want to do rolling stakes, that's what you want to do. I'm more of a strategy of just throwing it out there, but also keeping a large enough liquid stack that if an opportunity comes up, I can take profits if I need to in order to then buy like later, which is what you do. This is how you cultivate crypto, and then you dollar cost crypto, which is your DCA at these pivotal times. Like it's on the dirt right now. This is when you buy. This is when you take a shot.
Familiar tag names there.
I know. It's like I don't even know. You know, maybe these guys need a little meme lesson on DCAing. I don't know. Let me see if I could find a little.
Look, Clarence, mate. It doesn't matter how many times we get beat down. What matters is that we get the fuck up and we keep fucking trying. You're right, Donny. Now, who the fuck are you, mate? I'm Clarence Claymore. Who the fuck are you, mate? I'm Clarence Claymore. Say it with your fucking chest. I'm Clarence Claymore. Show me what you got, mate. Take that. Fucking touch me, cunt. Fuck, mate. We got a lot of work to do.
And we got a lot of work to do with you guys. I mean, you guys do these massive DCAs on green candles, and then you do these little bitch made DCAs when it's red. Miguel, it's over. It's so down right now.
It's reverse. It's reverse programming, man.
The Bitcoin's at $15,000. It's going to 9. It's going to 9. It's going to 0. I just can't. Like, wow, $74,000. You think I should take a loan out of my house to buy Bitcoin right now? Like, this is like literal super chatted questions to me, like factually real things that have been told to me. Like, everyone wants a consultation. Everyone wants to get a hold of me when the prices are at fucking peak German 9999.
Why is it when we got a 90% off sale, we're buying up everything in the store, but when we got a 90% off sale in crypto, we hide like little bitches? What is that psychology that causes that? You know, a thing you want is on sale right now. You think you're going to get 90% off of 90%? Do you really think that's going to happen? You know,
let me play a little something else for you guys. Like, something about like being a man of action. Someone that could take a deal. Someone that knows what they fucking want.
You buy this for $39.99. Guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby. You're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99. That's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, good deals don't get by me, baby. I move. I act quick. I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com. Boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby. Because you bought it for $39.99.
By the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill.
Do I have your attention now? You ingrates. Like, what? I had to do stupid shit like this to get attention from you guys. Like, listen.
By the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy.
Bill.
Hey, I got one for you, dollar cost. Here's my real life meme. Ready? Guys who think retail is here. Retail is not here yet. Okay? This is the money that you're looking at on chain. Oh, it's almost green, so it's not showing up on the green screen. Pick a red one. There we go. This is the money that you're looking at on chain, okay?
Right.
This is the money that hasn't come in yet.
And we finally have a pipe, a small pipe, but a pipe to get traditional finance money into crypto. Because I know Reaganomics, you guys, I'm sorry, but like trickle down economics does work in crypto. That's how it works, because that's how liquidity pools work, right? The money's flowing into Bitcoin. It's just started flowing into Ethereum. Ethereum price goes up. People have a wealth effect. They take their Ethereum. They buy into L1s. They buy into meme coins. These people get wealthy. They spend it. They buy back into Ethereum. They're like, fuck it. I'm going to take some more shots. The money spreads into the rest of crypto. Then there's guys who are like, oh shit, my Ethereum went crazy. I'm going to take my money and go into much more speculative L1s or much more speculative things because I want to front run the next guy. So it's this whole game where everyone's trying to front run everybody. And then this is why the money goes like this. spreads out through all of crypto, and it doesn't. I mean, for the most part, it doesn't work in the real world, but in crypto, it
does.
It does work. Yeah.
And the trick there is Bitcoin did something unusual this cycle, which was with all the ETF hype and everything, it actually pumped prematurely.
Yeah.
It should not have hit a new all-time high this early in the game. You're never going to get rich on a presidential election year. Okay, so if you look at the fractals, and Sami's been pointing this out too, and I'll give credit where credit's due. Is the 4-year cycle is in play, and
dun.
It is. It's in play. So I mean, you're early to the party, so you got to build your positions now, or it's going to suck later. Period.
Yeah.
And again, I tell people, look, you pay your rent, you pay your bills. The money that you're going to blow, you need to put it into crypto. Okay.
Right.
But that's just your money you're going to blow, because everybody blows money on some kind of dumb shit somehow. Right. I've got
for the people in the back. Can you say that one more time, Johnny? I think that's really important. I don't care whether you're a holy man, a good man, a miser. They always spend the money somewhere. It gets spent. And some of you guys are spending it on bitches.
Yep.
Some of you guys are spending it on your baby mama.
Some of y'all spending way too much time on fans only.
It's over, bro. I'm sorry.
They're spending too much time on OnlyFans or something.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Somebody's paying that OnlyFans bill. I am sick and tired of this fucking stereotype, in which may be true, but some of these crypto dudes are the ones paying all these fucking only whores.
Well, they are.
This money. Why? We suffer through we bear crawl through nails and fucking dirt and glass to make it to the other side to make profit, just to give it to some fucking high school dropout fucking core. What?
One drunk man is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank you so much.
That's the thing.
Thank you so much.
That's the thing.
And this one for my ladies here too. Why are you falling for this fucking deadbeat motherfucker who doesn't love you, and you're spending all your money on this idiot? It works both ways. Now it's more common that the man is the one simping. But I've been on this earth 33 years, just like Jesus Christ. 33 years, like my life path. And for 33 years, I've seen both situations where the man's getting taken advantage of and the woman's getting in abusive relationships and shit. Stop being a stupid bitch. Stop being a stupid motherfucker. It's just stop. Look, I'm not telling you to gamble. When I do go gamble, whatever I lose or win, I take that same amount or more and invest it, so I don't feel bad. I'm gonna go out tonight. I might lose $1,000. I go put $2,000 into some crypto or some HEX or something that could actually possibly provide me some value in the future for future you. Even if all you did was stocks, you would be better off putting $2,000 into a fucking 401k and buying the fucking S&P 500 or buying the NASDAQ, or better yet, go get yourself a fucking Roth because the taxes are paid. Something. Half the money, half the money. You know how crazy it is? My baby who was just born has more Ethereum than you. Think about that. He is 1 month and some change days old, has more ETH than most of this planet right now. Has more HEX than just about everything out here. I mean,
see,
anyway.
there is this sort of defeatist attitude that I see in the community too. It's like, oh, I'll never get there. No, you won't. You won't ever get there when you say, no, I'll never get there, because you're not trying. You're not trying, right? So you'll run into these people that'll be like, oh, wow, that art's so amazing, I can't even draw. And you look at them, you go, so how often do you draw? They're like, well, I don't draw at all. That's why you can't draw.
Woo! Why don't you pull bitches so I don't talk to bitches?
Unit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that easy that people just don't get it. It's like, if you don't try, you can't win because you didn't try. So not trying, you're already accepting defeat before you even, you're just saying it won't work. Well, if it won't work, why are you even listening? Just go ahead, click out, click your sell button, go about your way, because you're not in the right frame of mind to succeed. And what you were talking about is we live in a debt system, right?
Yeah.
Money's easy to get if you got credit. Money's easy to get. You just borrow. But what people have forgotten to do is save. Once upon a time, people used to save up their money to buy a house. There wasn't mortgages. They would save up money and buy a house. Mortgages, dude, they're collecting on you for 30 years of interest. How would you like to earn the interest instead of pay the interest? Wouldn't it be nice to be on the other end of that spectrum?
Johnny, you're making stop, brother. You're making too much sense right now. We gotta stop. But Johnny's right. Johnny's 100% right. Back in the day, before there was even there was loans on houses, the house prices would only go up to about 4 times. Usually, it's about 2 times your yearly. Well, I guess what the workers' average pay was for the year, it'd be 2 times that on average. Maybe 4 if it was a very large, incredible house at most. But that was the average because no one would be able to save up enough to afford a house that big. So prices were within whatever the market was. Market prices are always market prices. Also, the dollar, the yen, or whatever the hell they were using back then was extremely more powerful, less diluted as well. I mean, since 1913, the dollar has lost about 99% of its value, of its purchasing power.
And let's not mention the fact that income taxes were implied. It's a new thing. They did not used to exist. And the fact that literally we fought wars over a 2% T-tax. Now you're paying 40% of your income to the government, and they call that fair and just, right? That's bullshit. It's bullshit. And they print as much as they want to print.
Endorsing whatever Johnny Chaos says, as a tax-abiding citizen.
Well, I'm a tax-paying citizen too.
Yeah,
I pay my taxes. I don't have to like it.
That's true. Hey.
So we fought wars over a 2% T-tax, and now we're in a situation where this income tax thing, where they hired 80,000 IRS with guns. You know why they got guns? So they can rob you.
You want to know why Uniswap waited so long to implement the taxes on every transaction? Because everyone would have bitched them out and they would have never grown. And at some point, they're going to start implementing these ridiculous fees, and it's just going to be fee creep. It's.
But guess what? We have a copy of it on Pulse Chain, and it doesn't have that switch. It's called PulseX. We got a copy, and you can import your ERC20s over there, and you can trade them as wrapped ERC20s, and you can provide liquidity over there, and it doesn't cost you $100 to pull your liquidity out of a pool. And like I said, that was the big problem with the S-load function, was it prevented DeFi from developing, and that was the big.
It moved it off to their centralized L2s and centralized exchanges.
Yep.
So because you were having this problem where they were running out of coins on exchanges, so they needed to bring back some of those coins back on exchanges because they use your coins to long and short. Yep. This is the beautiful thing is this is why the system it's hard for them to control it 100%. They're trying now. The United this cycle, which is why this is a very early on thing that we started talking about in 22. This is the first cycle where it's US led, first time. We've had Japanese led back when it was Mt. Gox. We had kind of a long era of I would probably say 2015 to mid 2020, where it was pretty much led by the Chinese in Asia. And you saw what happened is in the middle, I think it was around March of 2021, the Chinese banned crypto. They started destroying miners.
Banned, unbanned. It was every other month, dude.
Every other month, right? But now they're coming back
down the ASIC miners.
My favorite one was seeing all these I think there were Chinese locals and stuff. They basically had all these ASIC miners on their backs crossing into Mongolia. Imagine there's this big migration. It was just this picture of these Asian people with all these ASIC miners on their back.
See, now
I don't know why that cracked me up.
The thing too, and I brought it up in the tweets earlier, was, people don't understand that ASIC farms are a physical point of failure. Okay.
Yeah.
They can be targeted by terrorists. They can be targeted by government. They can be confiscated.
The large scale ones. The large scale ones you're
The
talking
large
about, right?
scale ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
when you have something that's that big and worth that much money, it draws attention, and it can be targeted. It can be targeted with an EMP. So it's really kind of frustrating that people don't understand. When Bitcoin was created, it was something that anybody could run on their own computer.
Correct.
Okay, that's what it
GPU.
was. It was meant to be GPU. It was meant to be decentralized. It was meant for the people to be able to participate on the network and receive their share of the coins. Well, it's been institutionalized.
Right.
It's been institutionalized to heck. So what happens when you have a good thing is you end up with centralized entities eventually taking control over it, right? And HEX is actually power back to the people. You're running the code on your own computer, minting the coins, and it's too late to become a miner in Bitcoin. All right, it's not something that you're going to do. Now, if you want Bitcoin, you can stake your HEX and use your yield to buy Bitcoin, and that's what he's gonna show you guys at some point, is how to do a rolling stake and show you how to use your HEX as a tool to get free Bitcoin.
Yep. Yeah, you can get wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. You can use it for a lot of stuff. You can use it to buy it. I know people who are they're doing rolling stakes and using the interest just to buy Ethereum.
Ethereum it's a universal miner. It's a universal miner that allows you free crypto. You can take your profits in USDC, you can take them in Bitcoin, you can take them in ETH, you can take it in anything that has a pairing with it. You can trade. People are like, the Bitcoiners are like, well, you can't trade HEX for Bitcoin. The hell you can't.
Right.
The hell you can't. That comes from somebody who doesn't know. Because why? Because they're only on centralized exchanges. There's no pairings on their centralized exchange, so therefore they don't believe that it exists. They don't understand automated market makers. They don't understand cross-chain swaps. They don't understand the wrapping process. Okay, they don't get it. So, hey,
yeah, I mean, like I saw a really interesting question right here. That so obviously, I think just for people who don't know, there was a snapshot on Pulse Chain. It was only for the Ethereum side. I think there was, I may be mistaken, but I think there was a version of it for some of the coins. There's coins that are multi-chain that have some of their supply on Ethereum, and most of it's on their main chain or whatever. But for the most part, it was just Ethereum. And right now, I'm working on getting an exchange, one of the first kind of like foreign exchanges to actually launch their DEX on Pulse Chain. So I'm working on Spooky Swap launching on Pulse Chain at some point, which would be really cool. And it's like, that's just kind of interconnecting another community, an outside community that have a lot of fans and a lot of people who yield for them, and just to try out Pulse Chain, which would be really, really cool, And this is
Portal X cross chain swap too. So we've got tools like Portal X that allow the cross chain swap. So you can go directly from Arbitrum network onto Pulse Chain and save yourself fees. There's all these little tricks and stuff you can do.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tesseract X, man. 100 euros, man. Two of my favorite guys in crypto, Diamond Dudes, absolute legends. Thank you, brother.
Good thing I showed up today, huh?
Zero.
That's $100, man. Oh, damn.
That's a whole lot of Dr. Peppers.
That is.
Yeah, and no, but thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, man. And, this is something that me and Charlie gotta once we support something, we really support it. We could have when Pulse Chain crashed in price, we could have totally just let's scrub this, let's stop talking about it, and no longer talking about it. Hey, you guys, let's talk about the next new thing. But we saw the value in it. And, we've continued to teach. I mean, I think we've had literally a webinar or two webinars on HEX and Pulse Chain since 2020, I think. Yeah, late 2020. Yeah. So it's been like 4 years we've been talking about it. And it's been a really, really great and interesting journey and stuff. Just seeing this whole like ecosystem evolve, and then like what we did originally, like it was so more simplistic back then, and it's gone more and more complex. But as well as this, there's the user friendliness has gone up quite a lot too. Because I remember we'd have to it was so like. It took me a minute to get my head kind of wrapped around using Uniswap the first time. It was kind of such a it's like, what the hell is this? I thought it was like, wow, this is so simplistic.
Well, when we started, a lot of people were just using centralized exchanges. You and me both were using centralized exchanges. We weren't using DEXs. DEXs were unfamiliar. We weren't using bridges because there wasn't a need for them because there weren't other networks that we wanted to go to. So we had to learn how to add tokens to our MetaMask. We had to learn how to sign signatures because nobody knows how to sign a signature, right? So everybody was scared to death when they claimed their free Bitcoin that they were going to lose their Bitcoin, when really signing the signature after the snapshot, they didn't even need to have their Bitcoin in that wallet to claim. It was just a matter of having it in at the time of the snapshot. They could have moved their money from it and signed the signature, and there would have been zero risk for them whatsoever. And only 3% of all Bitcoin actually claimed. And I've got a pretty good inclination that half of that was Richard.
Yeah.
So yes, that means that he literally owned over 1.5% of all Bitcoin at that time. People don't want to talk about that.
A lot of people were mad. This is why a lot of people were mad at him as well.
Well, they don't understand that, they don't understand that they're really, shitting on somebody that had way more power than even Michael Saylor. They tout Michael Saylor because he likes to brag about how much money he does, puts it on the production sheet. But somebody that is earning free Bitcoin blocks, 50 blocks for years, has a lot more coins. Plus he was buying in at 30 and then he bought the dip there too. So, he had a lot more than somebody buying in at $37,000, so.
I'm not a pocket watcher here or something like that, but Richard has bags, bros.
He had ridiculous bags. Anybody that can do chain analysis can figure it out, because you can look at the stuff that happened before HEX, like the 10,000 Bitcoin bags that were reducing themselves down to 1,000 Bitcoin, right? So yeah, there were tens of thousands of Bitcoin that free claimed. Yeah, and they got that for free.
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
They got that for free. Anybody that claimed the free Bitcoin, you got that for free. That was 10 to 14,000 HEX per Bitcoin. Wouldn't you like to sell that at the top?
So I'll say two things. So somebody in the chat keeps asking about 2 weeks. So it's a big joke in the Pulse Chain and HEX community.
2 more weeks.
Where it's like we're launching in 2 more weeks, 4 more weeks, 2 more weeks. It was here's the explanation for the whole thing, right? Is that legitimately this is what happened, right? The Chinese left. They left, right? They left. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm only 14, right? No, so they left, right? And what happened is the centralized exchanges and a lot of these yield farming protocols, Voyager, Celsius, they all started stealing customer funds, using that money to go long and pumping the market along with FTX.
Well, they were literally reporting data of the coins. They had a separate spreadsheet. Okay,
correct.
You were looking at your window into what they said you had. In the meantime, your coins were in their wallets and they were doing whatever the hell they want with it behind the scenes. And that was the problem. So when there was a bank run, what we had was fractional reserve crypto. That's what we really had. We had fractional reserve crypto. They said you had X amount of crypto, but when everybody did a bank run, they found out it wasn't there. It wasn't there. Exactly. Self-custody wallets are so important because you know that you're holding your own keys. You know your coins are there. When you're on a centralized exchange, you do not know for sure that your coins are actually there just because it says on the screen that it's there. And you will not know until there's a bank run on whether or not they can send out those coins or not.
Yeah. Because of like learning DeFi from HEX and stuff like that, I learned a lot of the lessons that I've actually imparted upon in the courses and stuff to keep people safe, which is self-custody, getting, a ledger, a Trezor, whatever you like, but just having your keys on your own wallet that you control and no one else can fuck with.
That's condom wallet, if you're going to screw around on the exchanges.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
I know the birth rate's down right now, but condom wallets are very, very important. You know, for every dollar that a scammer steals from you, they get to have children. You know, let's eradicate this species of people, these scammers. But there's a lot of things that we learn from that. I mean, there's I forgot the exact date, but every January there is a crypto holiday of taking your keys back and taking your coins off exchanges.
Trace Mayer came up with that, yeah.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this protocol in terms of like I use it at all, really. But GMX was another, like, I wouldn't call it like a Uniswap, like a 0 to 1 moment. Like Uniswap was like a 1 to 0. Like, holy crap, we can finally start rugging the centralized exchanges on DeFi. Incredible.
Yeah.
But GMX was a really interesting one that happened on Arbitrum, which I wouldn't classify it as a 0 to 1 moment, but it was very close, where there's finally leverage trading, which is, it's the gambling side that we don't like, but it's important because we have one.
We have Fame on Pulse Chain, but it's a GMX fork, so we have that. It's available. I don't recommend people leverage trade, but it's available.
Correct.
We were just talking about how fleshed out we are. We've got direct on ramps now.
Yep.
We have plenty of liquidity over there. Millions of dollars of liquidity. It's nothing to sneeze at. You look at some of these other chains, the reason they have liquidity is because they're bonding pairs with pairs with pairs, and it creates that illusion of liquidity that isn't even there.
Exactly. And and we have our version of GMX as well with Fame. Shout out to Buck and them, but like it's being used all the time. It's very profitable. It makes a lot of money on the daily basis. I think it makes $50,000+ a day or something like. At least I checked. I gotta get my math right on that. But it's made quite a lot of. It's made quite a lot of money. It makes quite a lot of money, and it's a pretty stable like that. It's just kind of like you can own the casino, if that's something you like, and that makes sense, right? There's a lot of things that make sense. You need borrowing and lending markets, even if you don't like to borrow. Like, I recommend most of my students do not borrow on crypto. I think it's a very stupid idea, very, very stupid. It was very like the SLO didn't help out with Ethereum because it made it so expensive that only whales could really be the people to borrow. But on Pulse Chain, you can borrow cheaply. But here's the problem: is that your guess could be wrong and you could get liquidated, or they can take the rest of your you can put $100,000 down, like in an example, $100,000 down on a Bitcoin as an example, deposit it, get $40,000 of tether, and then if Bitcoin does drop 60% or probably 58%, you lose the rest of your collateral. You still keep the leftover, but if you invest stupidly, lose that, and then Bitcoin goes down, you lost $100,000.
It's definitely an advanced feature, but it is available, and we have a lot of that stuff that's available over on Pulse Chain and fully operational, which. And we have liquidity pairs bridged in from Ethereum, whether it's the bridge, and we even have our own stables. So I mean, we've got Coast and we've got direct on ramp with stablecoin. We do have the lending protocols that mint stables for you that are just forks liquidity. There's like 3 of them now over there. So there's 3 different ones that allow you to borrow on all of RH's assets if borrowing is what you want to do. But like he said, if it really, guys, it is a tool that you can utilize to not market sell, to not damage the price, to not devalue the rest of your bags. If you're planning on exiting, it might be easier to use one of those protocols versus trying to sell against yourself in low liquidity and wreck yourself with slippage. It might be easier to use that as a sort of exit strategy. However, you can also learn how to use ranged liquidities by providing X amount of tokens for whatever price within that range, and then setting another range and X amount of tokens for that price. So you're not just constantly getting the lowest possible price while exiting your position. Not that anybody should be thinking about exiting their position right now, because we haven't even really got started.
Right.
But,
and you also there is the whole thing too. Like, we do talk about those kind of liquidity pairs and those kind of ways to exit. But at the same time too, I like that is a more advanced feature. And most people, like a lot of like, listen, I'll just be very honest. Most people are very busy. They're working. They're actually doing a full-time job, or they actually have a career or have a family, and because like the people in crypto, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's a bunch of spurgs out here and a bunch of crazies, but the people in crypto are kind of a cream of the crop, because if you actually look at like how YouTube pays out per views, the in finance it's the highest paid. It's the highest paid per 1,000 views, because these are people with money. And you're talking about people who have extra income enough to, even if you are poor and you're like, oh man, I really don't make that much. You have the balls to put up whatever money you do have and put it in, because it's like the people who actually believe in their future, which is a small subset of people, very small. I'm talking, there's reports that only 33% of people actually can hear their own thoughts in their head. So we have 60 to 50% of the population of the world are NPCs. Truly NPCs. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, there's people out in this world that literally cannot hear their own voice in their head. They can't talk to themselves and are just basically running on, like, essentially they're running on free spins mode. They're just running.
I hate it when I get in an argument with myself, because I always win.
Oh my god, man.
That's usually rude.
You're never too young to have a Vietnam flashback.
And no, I think eventually they're going to find out it's probably like something like 60% can, but a lot of the little preliminary sort of like testing they've done, asking people, it's like 60% of people so far. But I know but a lot of people are probably don't understand it really, possibly, or what people are talking about. But like, there's levels to it, like where some people can actually have like even different voices in their heads, and some people actually think much. I think it has a lot to do with like, are you like a visual learner? Are you auditory learner? Or, I think it really depends on what type of person you are and how you learn, really. But like, two of them lend themselves much more to actually thinking in your head, versus other ones are just like, oh, okay, I'll go there now.
You know what else we've got? We've got Google geniuses. That's what we got. Google says. Google says. And it's going to get even worse with this new AI, because people are not retaining knowledge. They're not retaining information. Just like you don't need to really be an expert in mathematics, because you know that calculator that the teacher said that you'd never have in your pocket at all times. There it is, calculator. Now it's not just calculator. Now it's connected to Google, and now it's connected to AI. So I caution people, because AI is one of those things that can be controlled, and your reality can be shaped by the information that is submitted to you by AI, because you wouldn't even think to question it. And that becomes a scary reality when you're not retaining information, when you're not asking questions, you're not being objective, and you're just saying, okay, well, AI tells me this, and that's the truth. That's when things get scary, because now all of a sudden you are now being controlled by the computer, not the other way around.
And they've already proven that, because they put certain restrictions. I understand it, because they don't want the AI to just say racist ass shit. I get it, right? Well. But like, but regardless or not, right? The AI is like basically pretty left leaning, which it should be probably neutral versus, or more factual, like sort of like an X says, no, this picture was doctored. This is not real. Or like,
they can set parameters, just like Wiki can be rewritten too, right? So sometimes it's reading results of authors that are predominant, right? So you just have to be cautious, and you even do have to double check your AI, because it may not give you the correct answers, and not just assume because you read something that's reality. Shit, when you remember, man, back in the day, every mainstream crypto influencer was targeting us. We were the few that had hundreds of trolls bashing us on a daily basis, telling us to give up. It's all over. Richard Dunn took our money. Hex is never going to reach a penny. That market cap would be too high. You guys are ridiculous. You're idiots. You're all going to lose all your money. First of all, the money that you have in crypto, if you lose it all, well, you should be okay with that. I mean, it's going to suck, but the fact is, you shouldn't lose all your money on anything, right? So
That's
And
people taking crazy risks and stuff like that.
running up
Yeah,
their
yeah.
credit card, treating it like a lottery
Especially if you
ticket.
have a family. If you have a family, like if you're under 24, you don't got a family, bro. Like who cares? Any money you have is bullshit. Unless it's like unless we're talking about the fucking money your parents have been saving up to send you to college. Yeah, don't spend that shit because your parents worked their ass off for it. But I'm
Right.
talking about that bullshit ass chicklet money you be making from working at the mall or doing automotive work or Ubering. It's bullshit. You're gonna spend it on bullshit anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like risk it all. It's money isn't real, right? But as you get older, you get more responsibilities and stuff like that. Like you can't fucking risk the rent money on a fucking parlay trying to hit it. You know what I'm saying? You can't risk the next Dodge Moon coin, Elon coin. You cannot risk your daughter's insulin money.
Right.
And people have done that, which is scary.
But it's locked though. But it's a lock.
It is locked. Well, he did say it was a lock. You know.
Is Charlie here and off camera? Is that Charlie?
No, that's my brother Kyle.
Okay. Hi, Kyle.
What's up, man?
Here's a little song for everybody, man. If you like.
Try not to be a cunt. It's Christmas. Take a tip from Santa's helm. A box St. Cherry. Have another sherry. Try not to be a cunt. Try not to be a cunt. From the reindeer. I'm sleighing up to Lapland. Try not to be a cunt. C-U-N-T. Cunt.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Try not to be one of those.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, you guys.
That actually reminds me of that song that the one guy does from Monty Python. Everybody's a little bit of a sometimes.
Yeah.
Funny song too.
Yeah, but it's just a true thing, like this is like we're pretty much close now. Some coins have done very well, but most coins are pretty close to their bottom still, or have only done like most L1s. If you actually look at them, if I'm not talking about a brand new L1, I'm talking about like an OG L1 from last cycle, or even some of the newer ones. Actually, they're only like a 2 or 3x above their actual cycle low, if that. Most of them actually are between that range to like 50% above or less. So we're like no L1 has just gone up crazy besides a Solana, but even Solana hasn't broken its all-time highs.
And it goes down
Everything
every
else,
other month. And it goes down every other month.
Say it again.
And it goes down every other month.
Oh yeah, it goes down every other month and stuff like that. But it's VC, but there's all this VC. I mean, they're just VC
If you
backing
can
it.
shut it off, it's not blockchain. I mean, this is the thing that drives me crazy. If you could shut it off, it's not blockchain. Doesn't mean it won't make you money. Doesn't mean the price can't go up. But if you can shut it off, it's not blockchain. I mean, crazy.
You just gotta always remember that and stuff. Just remembering that it can be like, if it can be shut off, then they can shut it off during a time where you can take profits.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one right there, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
we know the exchanges glitch
Very
the
high at the
hell.
top.
Every time, when it's a bull market, guys, exchanges are going down left and right.
Circuit breakers.
The circuit breakers are getting tripped left and right. You're looking at 20% every other day on coins, just going up 20%, 50%. HEX experienced 50% back-to-back days, like all week. So we're coming out of this, but we're not out. And you'll know when we're out, because that's when the craziness happens. And it's like, man, and people are like, well, buy the good old stable Bitcoin. Why? So you 2x? 2x's aren't very exciting. If I want a 2x, I'll just buy something and resell it. It's called retail. 2x all day. You want a 4x? Do it twice. I mean, it's not difficult. You don't have to load your money up into something that's not going to perform for you. Now, on the other note, you'll see people bragging, I got a 50x, dog. Oh, yay. Your $100 is now $5,000. Good for you. We're not playing for $5,000 here. We're playing for life-changing wealth, You know, they'll never
Course.
tell you what they put into
Course.
these random things that they win on. You know,
Yeah.
you'll see it all the time. I mean, oh, I'm up 120x. If you tried to actually test the liquidity to see if you can actually exit, or are you just assuming that your paper gains are real gains? And that's the thing with all of cryptocurrency, that 90% of it isn't circulating. So like you can divide that market cap by 10 right off the bat, and you need to know that 1% of that total supply can crash the shit out of the market. You know, and you know, we wouldn't have learned those kind of things if it weren't for the fact that everybody was challenging Hex's amount of tokens, challenging its market cap. It's like, oh yeah, well, let me go look and compare this to other coins. Let me actually pull up Etherscan. Let me click on tokens. Let me look at the supplies and allocations. Oh my God, look, every single token there is 90% or more owned by the top 100 wallets. I wonder who those top 100 wallets are. Let me think about this. And I pulled up BNB, and you know what I found? That the top 100 wallets own 99.5%. I posted about it. Very next day, they dished it out to all different wallets.
Yeah.
Literally within 24 hours, they split it up because I did a video. I pulled up BNB, and it was 99.45% was in the top 100 wallets. So it's easy when there's no coins on the market to pump the price. Why? Because there's no coins for people to sell back down on your head, right? A lot of Pulse was distributed. A lot of Pulse X was distributed. A lot of Hex was distributed, okay? Those are real users, okay? That's where the damage comes from, is from people not valuing what they hold and just clicking market sell because they're not educated enough to take profits from their position in a way that doesn't damage the price, furthermore devaluing the balance of what they hold. You know, if you're all out, I guess you don't care. That's fine. You sell the bottom, you can take the least possible price that you're going to get, because every time you market sell, you're getting the worst possible price that you can during that time frame. Whenever you market sell, you are getting the worst possible price within that time frame. You need to remember that, because that's the truth.
But the top's the top. Yeah, so you know, I play devil advocate, not even devil advocate. I mean, angel wings here.
Well, a top each cycle. You know, okay.
Yeah,
so
that's the whole thing. Is it's if you sell and don't come back, you're gonna get wrecked.
Yeah,
but it's just playing the long game. You know, like crypto's a game of attrition. You have to take profit sometimes. Let's you know, you have to take profit sometimes.
You have to be okay with that price at that time, and you can't play would have, could have, should have. But the idea is
$100,000 is a lot of money, you guys. Don't forget. Like I keep trying to drill this shit in people's heads. Yo, 100 G's is a lot of money when you don't have 100 G's. 100 G's is a lot of money when you don't have that. Like when you're up 2.3, 3.3, $8.7 million. Yo, and in liquid. A milli looking kind of nice in the bank account here and there. Just saying to people.
It could 10x. It could 10x.
Yeah. I mean, I had tons of stories of that, of guys that are like, yo, they put in was it a couple, maybe $200,000 or $300,000. They're up literally, you know, millions of dollars. Just, hey, put $1 million away. Nah, bro, I've got a goal. I've got to hit this $13 million goal I have. Bro, dude, just take $1 million off. Like, no, bro. And then it's all gone. But that's the type of people they are, you know, like
it's the all in, all out strategy, right?
Yeah, it's for a lot of people. They want that big.
Yeah,
like no, like every guy that I know that's really successful, they're taking little chunks out here and there, and then like there's been coins where I've been able to sell most of it right there. Cool, right? But you can't do you won't do it with all of it. You cannot. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
And you know there is that strategy of if you double, you take out half. You know, if you're in heavy, you could do that. Or if you 10x, you can take out 1/10, and then you're now playing on house money, right?
The rule of 3, rule of 4, rule of 5. Yep.
Yeah, there are different ways of doing that, but the idea of all in, all out is back to that lottery ticket mentality where you're like, I hit my number, boom, I'm out. Well,
yeah.
Now you've missed any future potential gains.
Correct.
You know,
because sometimes you're all out number.
Yeah,
could be low. Could be
very low.
unbelievably. Could be very low. That happened to a lot of guys on with Hex going up. It happened with Ethereum. There's guys in the forum.
16 million Hex. I had 16 million Hex, man. I sold it all. Why'd I sell my Hex guy? Yeah.
I mean, there's viral posts of guys saying that like, oh man, you know, I never should have bought Bitcoin at $2. I'm like, damn it, you know, I sold it all now. Like, or like there are guys showing off like, oh dude, Bitcoin hit $10. I just closed out 10x in profit. And they're like, then like, bro, did you kill yourself? No, I'm still alive. I'm just sad. I should have kept it, you know, with
here's
Bitcoin.
The thing, Miguel, do you remember what Bitcoin's first official listing price was on exchanges?
Was it 50 cents, right? Was it 50 cents?
No. 1,309 for $1. Bitcoin's first listing price, first official listing price on an exchange was 1,309 for $1. So look at Hex right now. How many Hex equals $1? And I understand when people say T-shares don't work because you're getting coins that are worth next to nothing, right? And the price doesn't go up, so T-shares don't mean shit. Except for the fact that you're getting coins today that you're going to sell at future prices. If it was 1,309 for $1, buying Bitcoin and paying that electric bill probably wasn't worth it for you then, was it? You know, it wasn't worth it for you at all. You're like, Bitcoin's not worth anything. I only mining 50 Bitcoin blocks. I'm only getting 15 Bitcoin a day, 50 Bitcoin a day. I got to have 1,309 of these just to get $1. Think about that concept right now. When you're looking at Hex and going, oh, it's only 7 or 8. That's only a couple pennies per T-share that I'm getting right now. Well, what about Hex's future price? I mean, look, if you don't believe it's going to go higher than where it is now, you don't believe there's going to be another cycle at all, you don't think it's going to reach somewhat of some higher price, well, then yeah, don't participate.
So you have, this is where you have to do your own due diligence. Yeah. You have to make your investments, and you've got to decide, like, this is even for Bitcoin, because like there's tons of people that like which are wrong. They thought Bitcoin ain't going to make it, and the people who believed got compensated unbelievably, life-changing. Same thing with Ethereum, same thing with a lot of other coins, you know. And it's just like you have there is a part of the game where it's risk it for the biscuit, right? But you know, you can take profits here, but don't sell. Like I'm never going to sell the whole bags, obviously, but I do take a ton of profit, right?
Guys were excited when it hit $1. Guys were excited when Bitcoin hit $1. They thought that was the end. Wow.
Yeah, they thought, yep.
You know, there's all kinds of stuff you can go back and look up where people thought it was the end. There were guys excited that it hit $100. This is amazing. It hit $100. If you go back in time and you were to sit down with them and say, guy, hey, that ain't shit. It's going to reach $70,000. And they'd be like, you're full of crack. You're on crack. You know, they would tell the truest of true believers would not believe you if you could go back in time and tell them that Bitcoin was going to take off and be $70,000. They would not believe you. They were excited over $1. They were excited over 10. They were excited over 30. They were excited over $100. Jesus, when it hit $1,000, you know, these people are like, wow, you know. So you're betting on whether or not you believe this thing's going to be around. You know, that really what it comes down are more people going to know about it in the future? We've already been gate kept. Our first run, literally, we did that with a fraction of the streamers and people and stuff that we do today. You can consider that a false start. That just shows you the potential. It's not like we're talking about achieving prices that Hex never has before. We're talking about known achievable ranges. Under the right circumstances, it's known achievable ranges. If we say it could go back up to 50 cents, that is a known achievable range. We're not guessing that it can go up there. We know that it can go up there. The question is, will it? Will it,
Yeah,
right? Will it? Will the circumstances repeat? Will we be in that position where people are actually using the staking feature as intended? They're actually moving supply. And then when you get a rush of people that are removing supply, price goes up.
And this is why this is a theory of mine, but this is why, like, obviously this cycle is a very more pulse centric cycle, of course, right? Does not mean next cycle. I do believe pulse chain will make it to the next cycle, of course, but like, but it's going to do very well in the next cycle. Maybe get much more adoption, but I really think next cycle, because the next cycle will be the third cycle for the Hex ecosystem, right? And well, actually,
no,
sort of.
We've only completed. We started. We launched in a bear. We had our blow off top, and
no, it would be the third one. Well, actually, wait. Like, let me get this one right. Like, yeah, because it's 2021. Then this cycle that we're in was 20, which will be 25 or 26. Yeah, it would be the third cycle. It would be the third cycle. Yeah, so it'd be its official third cycle, and the t-shirt ratchet's really going to start going crazy in the next couple of years, and that's when
we could talk about what's going to happen with a lot of the emergency unstakes and stuff, because you do have a lot of people that are mad and fed up, and they're going to quit at 10 years, and they're going to forfeit 5 years of yield.
Yep.
And they're going to forfeit their entire big payday bonus to the stakers. So you will see spikes all during 2025 as these things come out. Okay, you will see spikes upwards of 30 hex per day per T-share spikes on days because of people being fed up, people being at the 10-year mark, and people just simply not believing. And for the people that believe, that have stakes, you're going to get extreme payouts. And people don't understand this, that the yield is so much, it dwarfs the principles. So that hex doesn't actually come onto the market. What it does is it gets deferred out into the future.
Right.
Okay. So it doesn't actually come on the market. So when you see these big stakes come out and they emergency unstake, you can cheer that, guys, because you're getting paid for it. And they're getting a fraction of what they would have had to dump. They're only getting a fraction of that. It totally mitigates that. And then because they emergency unstake and the OA takes half of that off the market, so only half of that actually gets redistributed among stakers and pushed out to the future. Half of it is just gone. Okay, half of it's just off the market permanently. So
there's only so many 10-year stakes, or even those 11-year stakes, are going to make it to the 10 or 11-year mark, because
we predicted before 80% are not going to make it.
Are not going to make it.
Yeah,
and we've been saying this since early 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Early 2020, me and Johnny been saying this on stream. You can look it up. Go to Discord Syndicate, and some of the early archives and stuff like that. We've been saying that for a long time. That, I mean, it's just greed. You're good.
Yeah,
and then now I can't even blame a person if it's life-changing money, like, oh my God, PHEX or EHEX, whatever the fuck coin it is, right? It's up a lot. I'll emergency unstake it, and it's like, I need this cap. Go for it. I mean, it's your money. Do whatever you want. But like, this is why, like, I do like the whole system, is because it plays on human emotion, which is very powerful. It is hard. It is at the, when you look at it, it is the mushroom. It's not the mushroom. It's the marshmallow test. You know, they tested children to see, they put a marshmallow in front of them. They say, you can have it right now, but if you can wait 10 minutes, you get 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
The kids, and then they've actually then doubled back and seen how these kids, so the kids who actually took the candy, ate it right away, did far worse in their life than the kids who actually waited 10 to 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it was on the test, then got more, ended up being far successful. That's the crazy. I mean, I'll find the official study in a minute. If I can, maybe I'll look for it. But it's a real study that they followed up on these kids, and they saw the kids that actually waited longer time were way richer, had way better lives, just because they were just a tiny bit more patient. That's it. Delayed gratification.
Dollar cost averaging works. Okay, Coffee did a whole thing on that. ATX is currently doing a thing where you're tracking it. he's like tracking, he's doing like daily buys or weekly buys or something. You can see the results that a bot will outtrade you just by holding. So, and you're earning coins, on your coins. Okay. So I get it. The values suck. The values are down. And that's because people don't value it. If you don't start valuing what you hold, don't hold it. Dump your bags. Go away. Don't stake. Don't dilute my pool. I like my pool just the way it is. I'm good with that. So it's just frustrating that people are like, Well, the problem is they're affecting other people. They're affecting other people's judgment. And there's such.
And you don't have to play the game. No one has to do anything. It's all voluntary. You don't have to stake. You do not have to stake. You can just be like, you know what? I think the ecosystem's cheap. I'll buy it right now.
Yeah.
And I'll play it out. But even that takes a level of competency. It's a high level of competency and testicular fortitude and everything else that you could possibly imagine to be able to be like, oh, let me buy $15,000 of Bitcoin. Let me go buy $800 Ethereum. Let me go buy Pulse Chain right here in the 30s or the all-time low. Let me go buy 30-cent Ink token. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it right now. And the people who did, and even now, you haven't missed anything. Same thing with most of the alts. Like right now, if I were to go right now on CoinGecko, right? Like outside of the big two right here, right? BNB is still not above its all-time high. Solana's not above its all-time high. XRP lol. Dogecoin's 71 cent all-time high, so it's 7x away from its all-time high. But its cycle low was 5.9 cents. I mean, just look at it's across the board. Yeah. Everyone and their fucking mom talking about Solana. Every celebrity launching a fucking coin. Celebrity VCs. I mean, everything possible has not broken its all-time high yet. Solana, it crashed to $9. It has performed the best out of all the old L1s. It crashed to $9, has pumped up to this point, so it's done very well, right? You bought the low on it, but it's still not past its all-time high. Ton token, right? It launched. It's basically started at $1. It's up. It's crashed today, right? But it peaked out at $8. Did an 8x. Still, that's a new coin, so you can't really grade that on a curve. Cardano, 26 cent local low. It's at 38 cents.
All-time high.
You know what I mean? As Tron, I'm going to talk about Tron, but like Avalanche recently was at $18. Now is at 26. Still, this coin on average has kept up. Usually with Solana within a range, within a standard deviation of it, it's kept up within a range really well. The DNV has put almost all its all the records of your what's called driving plates and stuff like that on Avalanche. They're putting they're doing a lot of government work right now and stuff, which is pretty crazy. They're doing that right now. I'm Chainlink. I mean, there's just so much. I can keep going down the list. That's a 40. I mean, it's literally a 10x away from its top. I mean, everything is 90% down on average.
Bitcoin had a false start. Bitcoin had a false start. Everyone got excited. They thought that this was going to play out earlier in the season, but nope. We still have to go through the cycle. Bitcoin usually tops 12 months after the halving, and once Bitcoin tops, that's when the money starts trickling down, as dollar cost says, into the other coins.
Yeah, and this obviously the cycle is an ETF and meme coin cycle. That's the main things with a little AI sprinkled in there, right? AI cooled off in the main macro market, so AI cooled off over here. But FET has done very well, right? It's the first it's like the first Bitcoin of that or whatever, and this was below $1. Now it's $1.29 or $1.26, right? For less than a bag of chips, you can also have a piece of this AI fake tech.
Fake tech is the big thing. See, people don't understand that really has absolutely nothing to do with AI.
Yeah,
that's
for the most part. I think one day it will, but not today.
Maybe.
It's like pets.com. They're promising everyone's going to buy pet food on the internet, which is it is true now for the most part, but it's early. It's too early. It's concepts and stuff. But
so
still,
tell me, does my 100,000 deep brain chain, is that going to ever do anything for me?
You got something? I think it might. No, you're not. no, it's not and stuff.
How about
One
my
day-
dragon chain, man? How about my dragon chain? Is my dragon chain going to hold up? I thought they had a sponsorship with Disney, man. I thought that
Disney's gonna, bro. You don't know, bro. Parks and Recreations, bro. Disney, bro. Yeah, that was actually the people in Disney that were in it. Oh, that used to be the alpha. Like, yo, bro,
you can
I
pick.
heard a rumor. Disney's in, bro.
You
Dragon chain.
You can pick some real losers out there too, guys. So, like I said, I've been through the narratives, and this is an attention economy. If people like the story, they like the narrative, and they buy it, and the only people that are interested in it are the ones that actually believe that it's going to go up, it goes up. Why? Because they believe it's going to go up, so they don't want to sell for less than it's worth. Right? You don't go to the store and buy a TV and come home and sell it for $1 in the garage sale. Okay. But that's what people do with their crypto. They're like, oh, it's never going to go up. Let me just go ahead and sell it. And then, the only person they're hurting is them. The only person they're hurting is themselves. So,
money games are a positive feedback loop. Wealth games are a good thing because if everyone's working towards a common goal, everyone gets richer on paper and stuff like that. And it's like, this is why it's illegal to scream fire it's illegal to scream fire inside of a movie theater because you cause panic and then this crashes market. There's just a lot of unconscious people in crypto that most people in the real world don't know. There's never enough liquidity for anything. There just never is. Everyone sells their house. Your house is worthless. Yep. If all Las Vegas decided to say everyone in Las Vegas sold everything and told we're selling this shit, it would be worth almost nothing.
And in the sake of cryptos, again, you're looking at 10% of actually being circulating, 90% held in the top wallets, and 1% can crash the price. That's the reality. That's the harsh reality. It doesn't matter which coin you pick. That's the same scenario. You could say Bitcoin is the most liquid and that would never happen. Oh yeah, sell 1%. See what happens. So,
right.
Some
guy's saying that Tron, what are you talking about, bro? TRX has consistently gone up. Well, because that's what the Chinese do. The thing is, there's an informational thing. So, can you speak Chinese, right? Mandarin. If no, shut the fuck up, because you're an informational disadvantage. You don't know what's going on. Sure, you can Google Translate, but you are not in any insider position. You are not in any position to actually truly understand the connotations of them saying something in some way during an AMA. You have no way to really infer what's really going on. All you can do as most is just Google Translate to understand it. So you're just at an informational disadvantage. This is why I just don't play games you're not going to win.
Eventually,
but everything has, but it has steady Eddie gone up. But you'd be better off just buying BNB. It's done much better. It's been much, but all these Chinese coins, they have these little charts. They have these really kind of boring charts, but they do steady Eddie go up, right? But then as soon as they have volatility, the whole system, because they're, the reason they go steady Eddie up is because they're very levered out. They're borrowing against their own coins quite a lot on their own chains.
So the only people that are interested are the people that believe. Yes. What I would say is Tron doesn't have any non-believers because the non-believers don't care. So you've got people that just believe. If our HEX community would go back to just believing, we would do very well too. But unfortunately, we still have people that don't believe. This is their first cycle they probably ever experienced. And they think, oh, it's over. It's never going to go up there again. They're telling everybody, oh, it's over. It's never going to go up again. Like this is the first crypto cycle there's ever been. And there aren't other crypto cycles that follow. And not like we're already staked out for years anyway. So you have to have faith that the crypto market will turn around. More people are learning about crypto every day. The Fed has come out and said, yeah, we basically just create units of account and we just give it out. That's what we do. And Jerome Powell said something about, we've been accused of just printing digital units of account. And maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government. So that makes it all better, right? So if the U.S. dollar,
I know they aren't. By the way, I know they aren't. By the way, it's a cabal of 7 banks, 13 banks.
but anyway, if see now I done lost it. There. Ah! I don't even know what I was going to say, man. I lost it now.
You were somewhere between buy Doge. I don't know. So I,
Well, you got the treasurer admitting that they're printing money out of thin air. Okay,
Yeah.
so that and so if fiat was a crypto, you'd never buy it. It's got an inflation bug. They've got pre-allocations. They hand it out to their friends. They can print as much as they want with their admin keys anytime they so see fit, and you are not in the club. So, if that was Johnny's just smoking nicotine, guys. Johnny likes to keep his brain active.
He's on Zins. He's on.
I mean, it's a nootropic. It only helps.
Right. But no, but it is about conviction at the end of the day. Like you have to look, if you just take a step back, all right, you have every major bank that was saying, especially like JP Morgan, right? Jamie Dimon, right? Was like, if any of my goddamn employees are trading crypto, they're fucking fired. But Dad, I buy crypto. His little daughter and his son. And he was like, oh my God, you guys are idiots, right? And now
he's
they bank Circle, which is USDC. They bank Coinbase. They're literally balls deep in crypto. Whatever these fucking banks tell you is fucking lies. They tell you up is down. I'm like, then up, then down is up, or up is down. Whatever they fucking tell me, like, do not go to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas. 100%. Whatever they tell me, get the shot. I ain't getting the shot.
I think Miguel just lost his conversation in the middle of the conversation. That went a totally different direction. See, you did it too. You just talked your way through it.
Important. It's about conviction. It's about conviction, right? You have to look at the rest. Fuck everything else, right? Fuck Bitcoin, fuck HEX, fuck everything else, right? Just look at crypto and the whole thing. The money's coming in. We have an inflow from the fucking retirement money and the investment money finally being able to get into the two biggest assets, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum. That means they're going nowheres. They're going nowheres, right? The Chinese abandoned their stranglehold on the Bitcoin mining sector. Now it's all going US and fucking Europe now. Now that's why they're comfortable investing in it, because they didn't want the goddamn Chinese to have control 6% of the goddamn mining power, the hash rate.
Right.
Now it's all fucking US owned. It's all fucking European owned. It's all American owned.
I got an idea. How about participating in a coin where you get the inflation and governments don't? How about that?
Beautiful.
Doesn't that sound great?
No, but you're right once you're in crypto. But what I'm trying to say here is that this whole industry is growing. So they're we're going in the right direction, which is more users, and this is a kind of it's literally like a social network where the more people, more money, it compounds on itself. It's massive. It isn't just 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 25. You know what I mean? Whatever force multiplier you want to give it.
So just the money in the system. What a good indicator for that is of just the money in the system would be the stable coins. So you can see money that is setting in a risk-off position that is still one click away from purchasing cryptocurrency that just haven't pulled the trigger yet. And time over time, we see that there's been an increase in stables. There's been an increase. Now that's one time when you could really kind of count the market cap because it's a stable coin. So you're looking at more of a true market cap. So you can really see that, we never had like hundreds of billions of stables just floating around, right?
Right.
That's been amped up so high. So the money that is closest to crypto has been stockpiling. And then the retail that comes in, they're going to probably be purchasing stuff on Ethereum network first because that's what they're going to be introduced to through the centralized exchanges that are actually able to advertise. And actually, you probably watched a crypto.com or Coinbase commercial as you've been watching this thing if he's got the ads up, because those things are just going to pop up. So when people go on those centralized exchanges, what you need to watch is Ethereum. You need to watch Ethereum's price because that's what we're bonded with. We're not really directly bonded with Bitcoin. So you'll know when retail is here when Ethereum starts pumping. And in 2017, the thing was Ethereum was the intermediary, right? So in order to get into these ICOs, you had to submit ETH. It wasn't submitting Bitcoin, it was submitting ETH. So what would happen was people would come into the centralized exchanges and they'd buy $100 worth of Ethereum, and they didn't care because they immediately took that $100 in Ethereum and put it into their coin, right? So it didn't matter what price they paid for Ethereum, as long as they got $100 worth when it came out the other side. So it became an intermittent cryptocurrency, and because of that, it had a high amount of sell pressure because of the interest in all those additional coins that people had to trade their Ethereum for. So that's what caused that first initial spike that we saw. I'd like to see that happen with Pulse Chain. I'd really like to see Pulse Chain be the intermediary to bring in stuff into that network, but we're not gonna, retail's not here until Ethereum pumps.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, you can even tell, like, I back tested it a little bit, and it wasn't until Ethereum broke its light. So we just to go back a little more in time in the 2017 era, right? Since we're talking about that, the first NFTs didn't pop off on Ethereum until late 2017, and we're talking about a $800, $600 Ethereum plus era where it really was when Ethereum was $1,000 that we had like ETH rocks, crypto kitties, and that's about it. I think there's one more, and that's about it. Right? I think the punks, which no one knew about. No one knew about punks. It's like, I want to stop all these lies. Like no one knew about these fucking punks. So get the fuck out of here. The rocks, yeah, everyone heard about the rocks and crypto kitties. Most people heard about crypto kitties, and then it died within 2 months, dead. NFTs did not come back because I had been in the metaverse, literally in the first ever land sales with Decentraland and Mana and stuff like that, and the first wearables, the actual use, people using wearables technology and stuff, which was an Ethereum technology, and with these RC20 tokens and stuff like that.
Mana was another one of those that got priced out because of the S-load functions. They were actually,
they got fucked over. Really,
they got screwed over by that too. Gods Unchained was a game that got screwed over by the S-load function because of the So everything DeFi was screwed over by the S-load function. So guys, seriously, that's all about driving traffic back to the centralized exchanges to put a middleman between you and your keys. That's all that was.
So the NFT market didn't really take off. Now, obviously, if you bought any of these assets really cheap when no one knew about them and stuff, of course you made money, right? But I'm saying when you saw action in the NFT market, wasn't until Ethereum was 50% higher than its old all-time high. So in 2017, it topped out at 1,400. It wasn't until I saw NFT stuff around $1,800 Ethereum, but it wasn't until we were at $2,100 on Ethereum that NFTs took off in the 21 cycle. So
and with the high gas fees, I heard people say if you don't have $1,500 to mint a Bored Ape, you don't deserve one. I mean, there was some really ridiculous comments back in the day about that. And again, for the NFTs to actually thrive, you have to have an affordable network to do that on, and Pulse makes perfect for that. So I mean, I'm hoping that people realize the value that's there and that they test it out and give it a shot. It's not fair for art. If you're an artist and you want to get an NFT out there, you don't want your followers to give Ethereum network $1,500, do you? That doesn't make sense. Don't you want to spread your art out there? Don't you want to get it out there? You don't want them to be at such a disadvantage. And especially if you're trying to make anything to profit, then again, Pulse is the place to be, because the people are not losing more money to fees than they are paying for the product. So
I personally believe the more time I've kind of spent in crypto. Now this is it. So right now the big war right now is scaling going to go towards, as of right now, obviously if I go really crazy out there, like scaling can be maybe fixed on one chain and it's all like that. But like as of it is right now, it's a warfare between L2s and L1s right now.
Yep.
L2s and L1s. I'm leaning towards the L1 side, especially with stuff like Pulse Chain and Sonic. even though I don't like Solana and stuff and all these other coins, the L1s seem to be the tokenomics and just price go up is just much better on the L1s. There is money being made on the L2s, but it just seems to me that the L1s are just much more competitive because you have more of people rowing in the same direction, where the L2s are much more highly concentrated into a fewer players and
they're competitors.
They're kind of frenemies.
Yeah.
They're kind of frenemies. They're kind of frenemies. They're like we're helping Ethereum out, but at the same time too, like it's a lot of them are a lot of the L2s seem like cash grabs. They really do. You could say the same thing about the L1s, but there's maybe a little more respect because they're trying to be either a competitor or they're just trying to be a fork of Ethereum 2.0 or something like that, and more just spread the entire, because it's sort of like, you know, crypto has only helped the US dollar because most crypto internationally is priced in dollars. Even though in your local country, it's priced in lira or it's priced in the yen. But as soon as you go into the international market, everyone's looking at dollars. They're not talking. No one's talking about your local currency. So it's kind of the whole thing. As DeFi has spread and has L1s and L2s has spread, it's really only spread Ethereum out even more. Yeah. Because that's where all the stuff comes out of and everything like that.
Well, but layer ones are going to win when retail comes in because it requires a certain amount of knowledge to even utilize the layer twos. And
correct with the bridging and stuff. I mean, you can as long as there is but there is sort of as long as there is access to buy it on exchanges, that's the thing. But I just think the L1s are much better at marketing than the L2s. The L2s just seem like a bunch of dorks, a bunch of non-marketing dorks that aren't very social. Because I've yet to I've never been truly inspired by any L2 founder, really. I have not heard anything that's made me go like, wow, was so incredible. But I can say that about a lot of L1 founders, you know? So, Johnny, man, where can people follow you, brother?
Oh, you want to tell people where to find me?
Well, maybe that's a bad idea. No.
I'm on Twitter. I'm CCFX Studios on Twitter.
Got you. Is that the main place if people want to contact you?
Why would they want to contact me? I'm just a crazy guy on the internet.
What do I know? I may invent time travel.
What do I know, man? What do I know? Yeah, that's the only place you can find me. I don't have any other socials. I try to wean myself off of Twitter when I can, but usually something upsets me and I got to say something. So here I am.
No, and I appreciate you. You've always stuck to your guns, even when it was unpopular. I do think you're right, but sometimes being right is being unpopular, and sometimes sometimes it just is what it is. It's a fight, and but a lot of the OG Hexicans are used to these fucking fights because we've been through the ringer. I think a lot of the new guys in Pulse Chain right now don't know truly what hate is. They have not gone through the gulags like we have.
No, not when we have 100 followers and we have 100 trolls and are commenting on every one of our comment, and our feed is filled up full of it, and then you've got the mainstream crypto influencers that actually have viewership making fun of us too, so it was ugly, man. But yeah, we're hardened. It's like, you read the tweets and you're just kind of like, oh, well, thank you, all-knowing random guy on the internet with 20 followers. I'm sure the answer that you just told me is correct. I'm sure we will never pump again.
Truly,
because so it's easy for people to say it'll never pump again, right? It's not easy for people to say, yeah, it's a cycle. These happen. It will pump again. It will feel like it's never going to pump, and then it does. And then when it does, you're not going to have a bag, right? So it's one of those things. If it doesn't pump and you don't have any, okay, well, you don't lose. But if it does pump and you don't have any, then you lost. So it's kind of like you're going to lose either way, so
not doing anything is still choosing to do nothing at the end of the day. You gotta take shots.
In action.
You gotta take shots, brothers, sisters, man. You don't got to be all in, but You got to have something on. You got to have a little skin in the game. I mean, like at some point, half of the population of the planet is going to be in crypto, or half, or of the Western world is going to be in crypto, and it's going to be much more competitive, and it's going to be a much harder game. The game has gotten harder over time, but there's some tried and true things. No matter what, no matter how hard the equities market's gotten, there's tried and true ways to make money, and it's dollar cost averaging. It's just being in over the long term. It's choosing good project, good companies and stuff, and then it's just kind of figuring out what are the best projects and just kind of looking for the trends and stuff and investing when no one wants to buy, and that's how you win. But with that, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I think we will be back tomorrow with Moon Gang, as well as I'll be streaming here in Las Vegas on Monday as well. We got GG33 in town. We got Fresh. We actually got Myron in town. We got quite a few other people in town and stuff. So let's see if we can make some streams happen. But thank you so much for joining me, man. And then, yeah, go follow Johnny Chaos on Twitter. Peace.